In this episode of MPTV, we're in North Carolina at Southern Sweet Taters. We're going to talk to the owner, Natasha, about what she's done to carry on a family tradition of amazing Southern food mixed with a little bit of her husband's Hispanic background. We're also going to talk about the changes they made during the pandemic, like changing their waiting room to an amazing takeout room to make it so much easier on their staff, and also some of the great touches inside the restaurant. Follow me. We're back, another episode of MPTV. We're northwest of Charlotte, North Carolina. We're at Southern Sweet Taters here with Natasha. Welcome.
Thank you so much for coming.
Well, thank you for feeding us how you did. I'm surprised I won't fall asleep during this episode.
We'll try to keep you awake.
So tell us who you are about the restaurant.
My name is Natasha Bolden. I own the restaurant with my husband and our daughters and our families. And we did this after we got out of construction in 2012.
And you've done it pretty darn good.
Thank you so much. We try really hard.
So the business caters to, I guess I would call it, it's all Southern cooking. Mm-hmm. Is it families?
It's all families. We do a tremendous amount of people on the road because we're in a great location with some hotels around us. So we got construction people, we got doctors, lawyers, judges, your single moms, your soccer moms. We got a lot of generational families in here with great grandma, mom, and the kids. So yeah, we cater to just about everybody.
This is down home cooking, make you feel good, put a smile on the face, good conversation.
We do try, yes.
So I guess talking about, this is the second location?
It is. We had another location in Hickory, okay. And then we closed that location when my grandfather got sick, okay. So that we could take care of him. And then this beautiful little building just came available, and Conover welcomed us with open arms, and here we are.
So the atmosphere in here is done really well. Lots of colors. I know you say you switched the theme out.
We do. We switched the theme out with the seasons. Christmas is fabulous in here. It's like Christmas exploded in here. We try to make you feel like you're going back to your great-grandmother's house. We've got the aprons hanging on the clothesline. We got local artists doing the different art on the walls. We try to give you a good sense of nostalgia.
What I like about that, I knew you changed a lot with the seasons because, I've seen it online, I've heard you talk about it. A lot of restaurants get stuck having the exact look all the time, and it becomes background.
It does.
Whereas here, if I come in here, I'm gonna see something new every table I sit at all year long.
And that's what we want. We want you to, because we are a farm to table, so there's really no sense of me having, springtime lemonade out when it's the middle of winter, and you need to have something more warm and cozy.
So talking about farm to table, you also have a different concept in the fact that there's really not a menu.
There's not. We change our menu every single day. So it's what's the freshest, what's most local, what we can get our hands on that we just feel like we want to cook right now. This coming week, we're doing something we've never done before. We're trying shrimp tacos. So we've done birria before. We do a low country bowl. We've done shrimp poor boys. We just love just to mix it up, take all of our generationals of family recipes and change them just a little bit and flip them around and put them on the menu.
Okay, break time. Restaurant owners, you're watching MPTV, so you're obviously interested in increasing your sales and profits. But what if I told you you could eliminate the hope and pray out of your marketing? You could spend money and actually see results. Most marketing starts with attention, like a billboard. The problem is that attention leads nowhere. That's why we created the ROI Engine restaurant program. We take attention and gain huge engagement, whether it's in-store or online. We help you build a database with deep customer information that's comprised of email, cell phone, and birthday. And then we drive them into the restaurant with trackable results. Yes, results you can actually see. If you're interested and want to have a conversation, check out restaurantmarketingthatworks.com. Worst case scenario, you get a lot of great ideas. Now back to the show. So how does a wait staff handle that? Because I know a lot of restaurants, the staff knows this is our menu, and it changes maybe once every quarter a little, but every couple years it's pretty much the same.
We have a great POS system with Toast, and they allow us to change the menu every day. It gives great descriptions, it gives menus and everything, like pictures, so that way our staff are always on their toes, and after they've been here for a little bit, they start to learn the items.
So we talked about the menu, the atmosphere. Talk about the changes you made from 2020 to now, because I know there used to be a waiting room that we'll get some footage of that has become like a takeout room, right?
It has. Our curbside is doing probably about 50% of our business right now. Dining room is full, curbside's rocking. So we actually took our waiting room, knocked out some walls, put cabinetry in, hung some stuff up on the walls, and that's where all of your curbside's going out of now. So that way when you call in, we have a dedicated to-go staff, takes your orders, packages it, checks it, runs it out to your car for you. So you never have to get out of your car. So that was how we changed with COVID.
And that had to be a huge welcome addition from the staff, because I know a lot of restaurants I'm in, they're retrofitting places, people are bumping in everywhere.
So we were able to we actually had the room that we could do that, and we were so blessed with that, because you're very true. There's a lot of different places right now that they're literally like walking all over each other trying to get the curbside and to-goes, and it gives us that more space so we can guarantee that your takeout is exactly what you ordered.
Well, that was my next question, because the food that we've got on my table over here on the left with all sorts of great stuff isn't something, it's not like a traditional restaurant that's, you know, a lot easier to get and go. Like what was the transition like when because you weren't big time carry out before?
We were not. If we did 10 to-go orders on a Friday night, that was a big night of to-goes. And now with it being 50% of our business, that's a huge, leap and bound. We had to find the correct packaging, and we had to find packaging that was microwavable safe. You couldn't just put it in a foam box and hope for the best. Yeah. So we found this great company. It looks like a little like black and clear packaging, and then that way it keeps everything the right temperature so that you can get that fresh sandwich wherever you're going, or you can get those ribs that are still tender.
And inside here, we've got some nice china.
Yes, we have vintage china here. Everything's mixed match, because when you went to my great-grandmother's house, you had your favorite plates.
Okay.
Everybody's was different, so we've got the same feeling here.
Is there ever a temptation to go away from something like that? Because I'm sure that a lot of restaurants are looking for ways to make it easier, less dishes, less expensive when something breaks.
Nope, we're going to stay with that. That's a concept that we're staying with. We want you truly to feel like you came to your great-grandmother's house and you've got that special plate that when you see your meatloaf come out on that, it just gives you that sense of nostalgia.
Was there a struggle with being able to give that same feeling on the to-go when to-go went through the roof?
It was a very big struggle, because we want you to eat just like you're eating in here, and we've heard from a lot of our customers that we exceeded their expectations, because during the middle of the pandemic, to-go items were horrible to try to come by. Yeah. So we actually have to order ours specially from a specialty company to be able to supply that. We can't just get it from our normal food vendor.
What was one of the biggest things you learned through the time you were shut down and then transitioning?
Patience. Lots and lots of patience. So because things were not as easy any longer. You couldn't just open up your food app and place your order or call your local farmer and be like, hey, I need to do this or I need to do that. Everybody was going through the same thing at the same time. So you had to be patient. You had to be very quick to change. And that's one great thing about our menu, is if they don't have something in stock, we just change it. We just serve something else that day. So it's allowed us to be more adaptable.
Restaurant owners, did you know Matt has free online marketing courses that teach you how to successfully market your restaurant? Email support@mattplapp.com to get access to the courses and a free social media content calendar.
So, next step is talking about the marketing of it, because I've watched you and you're active on social media way more than any client I've ever come across. And a lot of it's because you had the menu changes so often. What have you seen of your usage of social media, and what have you done marketing-wise that's helped you consistently talk to people to get them in here?
Contests are a really big thing. People love the idea of participating. We did something just as simple as name our new cows off of our chicken brooders, and that just skyrocketed. And they've been named Milk and Honey, and people love it. Kids come in now and they're like, where's Milk and Honey at? But it was engaging your customers, and that's the biggest thing that I think right now that you need to do on social media, is you need to find a way to engage them, because they want to participate, and just seeing a feed or just seeing something is not always engaging. And we've seen that not only on Facebook but also on Instagram, that you need to be letting your customers engage with you, because they feel ownership in your restaurant. Even though you're the one doing the blood, sweats, and tears, they're watching you do it, and they want you to succeed. So that gives them a sense of ownership.
What's been the biggest thing you've done from a marketing standpoint that kind of got you there? What got you realizing that? 'Cause a lot of restaurants don't. A lot of restaurants fight social media, fight marketing, don't want to spend a penny. You do a lot of stuff.
You've got to. I mean, word of mouth is still the biggest one that you will ever get, and that's the one that we want. but you've got to see what else you can do because the marketing is so big out there. I mean, you do so much marketing anyway, and that has helped tremendously. You know, just some of those little tweaks and looking at it from a different point of view. You have to market. You can't just rely on your local newspapers anymore and word of mouth. Social media is huge, and you have to have a huge presence on it.
And you've got another contest coming up. Was it Name the Chickens
We
in the
do
carryout room?
name the chickens in the carryout room. That's going to be a big one. The one for July is going to be how many mini marshmallows in our s'mores bucket for, you know, like a pulled pork family pack. So that'll be something. We did one for Mother's Day and Father's Day, and the stories were just outstanding that we got to hear.
Yeah, your Mother's Day had a couple hundred, and it was unique to see that people not only engaged, they like deep engaged.
They
3,
did.
4, 5 lines, picture of them and mom.
And that was amazing. And Father's Day, we had a tremendous amount of father's photos, lots of advice from dad. So it was kind of really neat looking at it as, hey, my dad said the same thing. Or, you know, I've heard this dad in this restaurant saying the same thing. So that was really neat.
Cool, I love it. So last question I always ask on the podcast, and I never prepare anybody for, it's what do you do to turn it off outside of here? What's your airplane mode? We all got our phone, we can turn on airplane mode. You've got 3 daughters, you got a family, you got a restaurant. This is obviously your life.
It is.
What do you do outside of here to kind of cut loose a little?
We travel. We really enjoy traveling. We try to go back to my husband's hometown in Mexico at least once a year. So that way we can spend time with his family that's down there. We spend lots of family time on Sundays and Mondays. So, because you got to have that separation. But travel is when we take a deep breath and we just sit back and we enjoy.
Cool. Well, I love what you've done here. I appreciate you being on the podcast.
Thank you so much, Matt. We really appreciate you coming by.
Well, I can't wait to get over there and eat some food.
Please, we've got to get you a little nap in this afternoon.
That's all we've got for this episode of MPTV. We will see you at the next stop in the next city.